will supply zero-carbon electricity to 6 million homes around the clock. Restarting the nuclear industry after such a long gap hasn't been easy, but we're making real progress.
The race is on to build the most ambitious projects the world has ever seen. UK's Hinkley Point C promises to provide millions with clean nuclear energy, while Xiong'an in China is setting the bar for the next generation of smart cities. Could these mega projects be the answer to a sustainable future, or are they a gamble? Find out what's at stake and what is possible as we take you through some groundbreaking innovations and how, if this crazy mega project is completed, the world will change forever. The future smart city, Xiong'an. China has once again wowed us with its innovative ideas. This time, the country is building a true city of the future, the Xiong'an New Area. The project kicked off in 2017, and now 1.2 million people call Xiong'an home. With a budget of $95 billion, this project is one of the largest and most innovative around. The idea behind creating this modern district in northern China was to balance the rapid growth in the country's southern part. This area hadn't been developing as quickly, so officials decided to give it a big industrial boost, and Xiong'an is set to be just the ticket. Xiong'an is designed to be a smart green city that will help relieve some of the pressure from overcrowded Beijing. It will have advanced systems like digital roads and smart city planning. For instance, if there's a fire, the city's operations platform can quickly assess the situation, figure out how many people are affected, and determine the best route for emergency services based on current traffic conditions. Plus, you won't find traditional cars here. The city will only have autonomous electric vehicles. Enhancing the city's design, it is also brimming with plants and trees, having planted over 14 million trees and shrubs in 2017 alone. Choosing the location was smart too. Xiong'an is about 100 kilometers from Beijing, which makes it an attractive option for those living in the crowded capital. The goal is to attract people to Xiong'an to help reduce the population pressure on Beijing. True to China's rapid development style, construction is moving at breakneck speed. In just 7 years, they have already built 3,000 structures. While not all of them are complete, the pace is truly impressive. This drone footage reveals an industrial park, technology center, schools, and high-speed railway lines, all in progress.
While the Beijing section of a high-speed rail line linking the capital and Xiong'an New Area,
along with numerous apartment and office buildings. Right now, over 1 million people are living in Xiong'an, and that number is expected to increase to 5 million by the year 2035. With everything happening so quickly, it's clear that Xiong'an is on its way to becoming a future mega-smart city. However, there's more. Everyone's been buzzing about some more ongoing mega projects, and one of them is Hinkley Point C, which we will be discussing as we go on. Shinkansen. Japan is about to take train travel to a whole new level with the Shinkansen, an eye-popping $100 billion project. This bullet train will swiftly travel between Tokyo and Osaka using advanced maglev technology to reach speeds of up to 500 kilometers per hour. Imagine sitting in a train that hovers just above the track, giving you a super smooth ride even at lightning-fast speeds. In fact, when you put a coin on a similar train in China, it barely moves. The construction is split into 2 phases. The first phase will take you from Tokyo to Nagoya, while the second will connect Nagoya to Osaka. Initially, the first phase was scheduled to be ready by 2027, but concerns about the environment have caused some setbacks in the plans. However, an astonishing 86% of the Tokyo to Nagoya line will be underground, and Shizuoka, one of the areas along the route, is concerned about the Oi River leaking into the tunnels. Because of this, they haven't approved construction yet, which could push the timeline back to 2034. Meanwhile, there's an interesting development. The governor of Shizuoka recently resigned, and the new governor might be able to find a way to move things forward. As for the second phase, it's expected to wrap up by 2037, slashing travel time between Nagoya and Osaka to just 40 minutes. However, it's facing similar tunneling challenges as the first phase, so it'll be interesting to see how they work through these issues.
A high-speed rail so fast, blink and you'll miss it. On board the superconducting or SC maglev.
The Sydney Metro. Australia has launched its biggest investment in urban rail so far. We are talking about a $25 billion Sydney Metro project.
The Metro has transformed Sydney, giving thousands of fast, new wave commuting.
Currently, Workers are busy creating a brand new subway system for Sydney, featuring 4 lines, 46 stations, and 116 kilometers of track. This network is set to transform the way residents travel, connecting the central business district with the surrounding suburbs like never before. Imagine high-speed, driverless trains gliding by every 4 minutes during rush hour. That's how efficient this system is going to be for commuters. However, constructing this subway under Australia's largest city presents a challenge, particularly when it involves tunneling beneath the famous Sydney Harbour. To tackle this issue, they have employed cutting-edge technology, including a tunnel boring machine named Kathleen. This machine is named after Kathleen Butler, affectionately known as the godmother of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Kathleen has done some amazing work digging 2 tunnels that are each 900 meters long under the bay, going as deep as 40 meters below sea level. Each tunnel will host 1 subway line in what is called a twin-bore system. By the year 2020, all the tunneling was completed, and the first line opened the year before that. Currently, they are starting Phase 2, known as the City and Southwest Project, with plans to finish the rest by the year 2030. Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail. Let's head over to India to take a look at the construction of a high-speed railway that will connect Ahmedabad in Gujarat with Mumbai, the capital of Maharashtra. It might interest you to know that India boasts one of the largest railway networks globally, stretching over 64,000 kilometers. However, until now, it has never had a high-speed rail line. With a cost of $15 billion, this project marks one of the country's largest investments in rail infrastructure to date. The construction of the high-speed rail line will span 800 kilometers in total. This includes 468 meters in a ground corridor, 27 kilometers running through a tunnel that features an underwater segment, and 13 kilometers elevated above ground. The high-speed railway will begin at the Bandra Kurla complex in Mumbai and end near the Sabarmati railway station in Gujarat. In total, the line will have 12 stations. Once it's up and running, passengers will have 2 service options: a rapid train with no stops that gets you from Mumbai to Ahmedabad in just 2 hours, or an express service with stops, taking about 2 hours and 58 minutes. There will be 70 daily trips in both directions along the line. For this high-speed railway, India is using modified Japanese E5 Shinkansen trains that can handle the Indian weather, which can get super hot, reaching up to 50 degrees Celsius in the sun. These trains will be fitted with special cooling systems, air conditioners, and dust filters. Each train will consist of 10 to 16 compartments, carrying between 1,300 and 1,600 passengers, with a maximum speed of 350 kilometers per hour. Even though this project is one of Prime Minister Modi's big initiatives, progress has been a bit slow because of land acquisition issues, and construction only started in 2020. Still, the first phase of the line is expected to open in 2026. That might seem fast for India's first high-speed railway, but there's solid backing for the project. Japan is partnering with India, assisting with the design and construction, and even offering a generous loan of $12 billion. High Speed 2. The United Kingdom's high-speed rail project, High Speed 2, has had its fair share of ups and downs. What started as a $47 billion plan has now skyrocketed to around $84 billion, and it keeps climbing. The goal was to link London with major cities like Birmingham, Manchester, and Leeds, connecting key economic centers across the country. But as we have seen, things haven't gone quite as smoothly as everyone hoped. Due to rising costs and delays, the routes to Manchester and Leeds have been cut from the project. What was once set to be completed by 2026 now looks more like 2029 to 2033 for the reduced line connecting London to Birmingham. While the idea of upgrading Britain's rail system with high-speed lines is fantastic and could significantly boost economic development, the reality has been quite different. The original plan has been scaled back, and although the new estimate is $84 billion, that's still nearly double the initial budget. On the bright side, the new train track will create a direct link between London and Birmingham, making travel between these 2 cities quick and easy. It's like building a straight road that cuts out all the twists and turns. This track will also allow trains to reach other cities such as Glasgow, Liverpool, and Manchester. They will use both the new high-speed line and parts of the existing West Coast Main Line, similar to how a new highway connects with older roads to help you get where you want to go. Progress may be slow, but supporters believe that high-speed rail will encourage growth in areas outside of London, which currently accounts for almost a quarter of the United Kingdom's economy. John Kennedy Airport Expansion, JFK. Next up, we have a major redevelopment program costing $19 billion, aimed at modernizing JFK Airport, the largest airport in the New York area, which first opened in 1947. In 2023, JFK served 62 million passengers, marking a 12% increase from the previous year. Despite its popularity, the airport is aging, overcrowded, and not very well organized. The current renovation plans aim to transform JFK into a state-of-the-art facility and increase its capacity to accommodate 75 million travelers by 2030. As part of this upgrade, Terminals 1 and 2 are being replaced with the impressive new Terminal 1, which will cover 260,000 square meters. This new terminal will feature 23 gates and will focus solely on international flights, taking up half of the entire budget. In the new terminal, travelers can look forward to plenty of amenities, like restaurants, shops, and even conference rooms, all designed with a modern touch. On top of that, security is getting a major boost with upgraded features like video surveillance and facial recognition, so everyone can feel safe while on the go. There are also plans for expansions to the other terminals and a complete redesign of the surrounding road network. If everything goes according to plan, JFK will create a smooth connection for international travelers coming into the New York metropolitan area. Although construction was set to start in 2020.
At JFK Airport, the Port Authority has been working with airline partners and investors.
It was delayed by funding issues, environmental concerns, design changes, and weather disruptions. Still, the project is on track for completion by 2030. Hinkley Point C. Hinkley Point C is making waves as the United Kingdom's first nuclear power plant in 30 years.
Where 12,000 people are busy building Britain's first nuclear power station in over 30 years.
And with a massive budget of about 25 to 26 billion pounds, it's a project that everyone is watching closely. Construction has already started in 2016, and when it's up and running, it will supply electricity to around 6 million homes. With 2 units, this project will generate 3,200 megawatts of power. However, the journey has not been smooth. The project has faced delays due to several factors, including COVID-19, Brexit, rising costs, and the complex task of adapting a European reactor design to meet British safety regulations. As a result, the original price tag of £22 billion now seems like a distant memory. In their 2022 annual report, the French multinational electric utility company projected that costs for Hinkley Point C could rise to between £31 and £32 billion, with the first unit expected to begin operations by June 2027. However, by January 2024, the company revised its estimates again, indicating that the final cost might range between 13 and 35 billion pounds. With these changes, they are now targeting to have Unit 1 operational at a later date. As it stands now, Hinkley Point C is running behind schedule, and the new completion date has been pushed back to 2029 or 2031. California High-Speed Rail. Back in January 2015, the California High-Speed Rail Authority kicked off a plan to create a high-speed train system that's set to change the way people travel across the state. Imagine it like a sleek, fast arrow shooting from San Francisco to Los Angeles and Anaheim, covering about 795 kilometers. But this is just the first part. There's a second phase that will stretch the line further south to San Diego and north to Sacramento. Once everything is complete, the entire rail system will be around 1,249 kilometers long, connecting several major cities. The idea of having high-speed trains in the United States first emerged in 1979, but it did not get approved back then. As California's population grew, it became clear that the state needed to upgrade its transportation, similar to upgrading an analog phone to a smartphone. Officials realized that high-speed trains could be beneficial for both the economy and the environment, helping people travel quickly while reducing traffic and pollution. The planning for this rail system is thorough and focuses on comfort for travelers. Each train will be about 400 meters long, with nearly 4 football fields lined up. Inside, there will be various types of compartment sections: quiet sections for those who prefer silence, play areas for families, dining sections for meals on the move, and conference rooms for business discussions. Each aspect is designed to enhance the travel experience. Each train can carry up to 1,300 passengers, which means around 115,000 people could travel every day. The stations along the route will be carefully designed to enhance the experience. Each station will feature parking, waiting areas, designated pickup and drop-off spots, and canopies to ensure everyone stays comfortable. It's like creating a welcoming hub where people can easily come and go. To support this vision, from January 2015 to December 2023, around $11.2 billion has been invested in this project, which includes 190 kilometers currently under construction. This investment not only enhances accessibility, but also lays the groundwork for a more connected and efficient transportation system. This money also went toward upgrading existing rail lines in the San Francisco Bay Area and Greater Los Angeles, where Phase 1 plans to share tracks with regular passenger trains. However, it's not all smooth sailing. The authority is in the early stages of planning a connection between the Central Valley, the Bay Area, and Los Angeles, but they still need more funding. This part of the project would require crossing some mountain passes, which adds to the challenge. As of 2024, the total cost for Phase 1 is expected to reach around $106.2 billion. Even with all these obstacles, the dream of a connected rail system is still going strong. Supporters believe the project will ease air traffic and highway congestion, reduce pollution and greenhouse gas emissions, and boost the economy by connecting inland areas to coastal cities. However, opponents argue that it's too costly and that the funds could be better spent on other transportation or infrastructure needs. The choice of route has sparked controversy, especially the decision to start the high-speed line in the Central Valley instead of more populated regions. This project has faced delays and budget overruns due to management issues, legal disputes, and incomplete funding.
The project has spent to date about $9.8 billion. We've had a funding gap ever since the project.
Despite these challenges, public opinion polls show that overall support for the project outweighs the opposition. BART Silicon Valley, Phase 2. The Bay Area Rapid Transit District, or BART for short, is a major force in transportation. With an impressive budget of $12.2 billion, it stands out as a key player, ranking just above Stuttgart. Right now, they are busy with Phase 2, which will extend BART into Silicon Valley. This new route is going to run right under downtown San Jose and stretch all the way to Santa Clara. It might only be 10 kilometers long, but sources say it's going to be a game changer. This connection will link Santa Clara to the entire BART network and supercharge the local economy. Once it's finished in 2036, this line is expected to handle over 54,000 passengers every day. So, why the long wait? Well, digging the tunnel through such a crowded area is not easy. They have to navigate around existing infrastructure like sewage and power lines, while keeping disruptions to a minimum. Plus, with the Bay Area's earthquake risks, they are following strict safety rules and using specialized techniques, which slows things down a bit. Typically, subways have 2 separate tunnels for each track, but this project is shaking things up. They are using a single larger tunnel that will fit both tracks. It's the first time this approach, called a single-bore tunnel, has been tried in a United States subway. To keep on track, tunneling is set to happen around the clock. Saudi Arabia's NEOM. At a staggering cost of $1.5 trillion, Saudi Arabia's NEOM is like a high-tech playground in the desert, filled with futuristic projects to change the landscape. The main attraction is called the Line. However, recent reports show that they are cutting back on the line more than they initially planned. It's like building a dream house, but realizing you need to downsize some of those fancy features. Originally, the line was intended to stretch 170 kilometers, but reports now suggest only 2.4 kilometers will be completed by 2030. While the initial plan aimed for 1.5 million residents, that number might drop to just 300,000. This news has sparked considerable discussion online, but the Saudi finance minister has insisted that all NEOM projects will proceed as planned. Complicating matters, the 2024 budget for NEOM has faced difficulties in getting approved, revealing how tough this massive project is. There has also been a high rate of staff turnover, suggesting possible internal issues. For example, one contractor even pulled out of a $100 million deal with the Saudi government. Similarly, Malcolm Ayabiu, the CEO of Solar Water, initially joined to help with the line's renewable energy goals, but decided to leave upon learning that local villages were being cleared for the project. This isn't the first time NEOM has faced criticism over human rights concerns. In 2023, the UN raised serious concerns about plans to execute 3 men who resisted forced evictions. Fortunately, those sentences have not been carried out. Nonetheless, NEOM is part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, a plan to diversify the country's economy. While construction is progressing on the line and other NEOM projects, some have even tighter deadlines. For instance, the mountain resort of Trojana is set to host the Asian Winter Games in 2029. Recent footage reveals that construction is moving along quickly, but there's still a lot of work ahead. Further south, the luxury island resort of Sindala is set to open before the end of 2024, which is where a lot of progress has already been made. This development is part of NEOM, which is by far the largest mega project currently under construction. Subscribers pick. This image shows tall skyscrapers above the clouds. As these buildings rise high into the sky, they stand out against the clouds, creating a breathtaking view. Imagine stepping onto a balcony and feeling the cool breeze as you look down at the clouds below. The city spreads out beneath you, and it feels both calm and peaceful. Now, consider what a project like this could mean for the future. If this crazy mega project is completed, the world will change forever. What do you think it would be like to live or work in a structure like this? Would you want to explore the heights, take in the stunning views, or relax on the rooftop? Share your thoughts in the comments. What excites you most about a place like this? The Gateway Program. Let's travel back to the United States, specifically the East Coast, where the Gateway Program is making waves. The Gateway Program is an investment aimed at completely upgrading and repairing rail transport between Newark, New Jersey, and New York City. This stretch is crucial because it is part of the Northeast Corridor, the busiest rail line in the country. The plan involves redesigning bridges, stations, tunnels, and tracks to modernize the entire system while keeping operations smooth for the hundreds of thousands of daily commuters. Launched by the National Railroad Company of the United States, the Gateway Program started in 2011. After several years of planning and discussions, the project received official approval in 2021. Finally, in 2023, construction began, marking an exciting new phase for the program. In the first phase, the plan includes building a new 2-track tunnel under the Hudson River. They will also restore the existing North River Tunnel, which suffered serious damage during Hurricane Sandy in 2012. Later stages of the project will involve replacing the Portal North Bridge in New Jersey and the Sawtooth Bridges. Additionally, new railway stations, the Portal South Bridge, and the Bergen Loop in New Jersey will be added. This project is massive, with an estimated cost of $16 billion. However, United States authorities believe the investment is worthwhile. Once completed, the Gateway Program will ensure the long-term reliability of train service between New Jersey and New York. When it's all finished, there will be 4 tracks available, greatly increasing capacity. With these improvements, train travel is expected to become more comfortable, reliable, fast, and environmentally friendly, encouraging more people to choose trains for their journeys. LNG Canada. LNG Canada is in the news for being one of the biggest private investments in the country's history. They are building a huge $31 billion project in Kitimat, British Columbia. This project will change natural gas into liquid, so it can be shipped to countries around the world. However, this project is not just about the gas itself. It includes the construction of a marine terminal, a rail yard, and 2 massive storage tanks, each capable of holding 225,000 cubic meters of liquefied natural gas. Once everything begins to function, this facility will process 14 million tons of liquefied natural gas every year. With average market prices in mind, this could bring in over $1 billion in revenue. To get the gas to Kitimat, it will travel through a 670-kilometer pipeline from northeastern British Columbia. The primary market for this liquefied natural gas will be in Asia, where countries are shifting away from coal and looking for cleaner energy alternatives. But it doesn't stop there. But there's more. Several European countries are also interested, which shows how much profit can be made. Commercial operations are expected to kick off in 2025, and excitingly, testing is slated to begin before 2024 runs out. Stuttgart 21. Stuttgart, in the southwestern part of Germany, is a real hotspot for innovation. Back in 2008, city officials referred to it as the new heart of Europe, and since then, they have launched several projects aimed at transforming Stuttgart into a city where business meets the future. One of the biggest initiatives is the Stuttgart 21 Rail and Urban Development Project. The design for Stuttgart 21 is quite impressive, featuring green spaces and 28 massive cup-shaped columns. To create those columns, they will need an astonishing 350 metric tons of steel and 685 cubic meters of concrete. The project involves completely demolishing the old train station and building a brand new underground station with 8 tracks. Unlike the old one, the new station will be arranged horizontally, rotated 90 degrees. To accomplish this, workers have already dug new tunnels that stretch a total of 30 kilometers and laid down 57 kilometers of new railway lines. Once completed, the new station will connect to the high-speed rail network, allowing travel to Munich in just 1.5 hours instead of the previous 2.5 hours. This new underground station will be topped with a 10-acre public park, supported by 28 impressive chalice-shaped pillars. Each of these pillars is a major engineering accomplishment, using 350 metric tons of steel and 685 cubic meters of concrete to build. The station is designed to be bright and airy, featuring 23 large glass domes that open up to the park, creating a welcoming atmosphere despite being underground. Also, there are plans for a new train station near Stuttgart Airport and the exhibition center, connecting these key places to the transportation system. Construction started in 2010, and while the original estimate was about 2.5 billion euros, costs have now jumped to at least 11 billion euros. This whole project has sparked a lot of discussion, with some people doubtful about whether it will work. However, the German authorities are still dedicated to making it happen. Unfortunately, progress has not gone as smoothly as hoped for this project. Recently, they announced more delays and cost overruns due to various challenges. Unexpected geotechnical issues with the area's swelling clay soil created extra work, which pushed the opening date to December 26th. International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. Have you heard about the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, or ITER? It's this massive global project that's trying to figure out how to use nuclear fusion for energy. The idea has been around since the 80s, but they didn't start construction until 2010. They decided to build this ambitious reactor in Saint-Paul-les-Durance, a town in southeastern France. ITER is designed as a tokamak, which is a device that uses magnetic fields to contain plasma. Plasma is the super hot gas that's essential for nuclear fusion. Once it's finished, the reactor will be over 70 meters tall, even taller than the Eiffel Tower, and weigh over 20 million kilograms. They aim to create plasma with a volume of 40 cubic meters, which means cranking up the heat to an incredible 150 million degrees Celsius. To make this happen, they have to ramp up the magnetic field inside the tokamak to 200,000 times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. Plus, the giant superconducting magnets will need to be cooled down to a frigid minus 269 degrees Celsius. A lot of countries are teaming up for this experiment, including all the European Union member states and several others. For quite some time, they have been getting the site ready to host the reactor while working together to make it happen. In 2020, they finally started putting the reactor together. It might sound almost unbelievable, but if the scientists can hit all these targets, the area around the reactor will be both the hottest and coldest place on Earth. While it might be hard to wrap your head around, researchers are pretty confident it's doable. So far, more than 25 billion euros have been invested in this groundbreaking project. With all that money and its advanced technology, it's known as one of the most ambitious projects ever and is often called the most expensive experiment in the world. Grand Paris Express. Lastly, let us take a trip to France to see the Grand Paris Express. This incredible project, costing $35 billion, is one of the largest infrastructure efforts currently happening in Europe. It aims to expand Paris's metro network. The plan includes adding 4 new lines, 200 kilometers of track, and 68 new stations to modernize the public transport system for the 21st century. These new lines will connect Charles de Gaulle and Orly airports directly to the heart of the city and link Paris's sprawling suburbs to the city center. Constructing in a bustling urban environment presents its unique challenges. This involves relocating utilities, protecting historic sites, and coordinating with various stakeholders. On top of that, the Grand Paris Express has to tackle the added pressure of the 2024 Summer Olympics. The Olympics pushed construction to speed up, especially for the extension of Line 14, which will connect Orly Airport with the city center. This new line will also connect to important Olympic sites like the Athletes' Village, the Olympic swimming pool, and the main stadium, Le Stade de France. Originally, the extended Line 14 was supposed to open in 2027, but it officially opened just a month before the Olympics, making it a big success for the project. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.